We're just days away from Space Engineers 2 being properly revealed, and we'll be learning critical details like the early access release date. Hopefully, the upcoming Keen Software House development presentation will also showcase insight on what we can expect in the alpha stage of early access, as it does look like planets will not be present. Before we do get to that stream, we've got some new details from the Space Engineers 2 reveal to talk about, notably a mysterious cable that appears on the Space Engineer player model, and also the new in-game drills, which we also have some new looks at thanks to a sneaky upload from the game developers. All this, roadmaps, and more. Let's go. Greetings everyone, my name is Captain Jack and welcome to my channel. I've been covering Space Engineers for the last 10 years and we're about to start this new adventure with Space Engineers 2. So hit that subscribe button and join me along the way. While you're watching, I really want to know what feature you're most looking forward to with Space Engineers 2. Is it the new destruction system, perhaps the new building system, or something you wish will make it into the game? Come on Keen, give us dynamic weather like rolling storms on planets. Now that would be epic. Some of you have noticed that the Engineer player model in Space Engineers 2 carries a mysterious cable on their hip. Now this could be a decoration piece for the Engineer. I think that's unlikely. We are going to speculate a little bit about it, and before anyone complains, speculation is healthy for any community. If you're not interested, use the YouTube chapter system and skip ahead to the next section. So, this could be a grappling cable. I saw some people suggest this, but then again, when thinking more about this, why would we need a grappling cable when we have jetpacks? It could be useful for grabbing floating objects or blocks, you know, the ones we can't store in our inventory, almost like a lasso of sorts. Yes, I did see someone draw a meme of this in the Keen Discord, it was quite funny. But let's be honest, we've all been in Space Engineers before where you've cut off an engine and suddenly half your engine is now floating away. And you can't stop it unless you go get like a small ship with landing gears, which is really tedious. And then if you don't have one built, you've got to build one, grab it, and before you know it, it's floated away and you never see that engine ever again unless you've got admin cheats. We've all been there in Space Engineers. Don't lie, we all have. Obviously, a grappling sort of thing could help with something like that, or like a lasso sort of thing, which would be hilarious. But also I think it would then take away the need for these small ship tugs we kind of build in the game. So maybe it's not that, but you know, let's see where it goes. Secondly, this could be some sort of electrical cable. This could be the way to map your power between blocks like a reactor or a solar panel to production blocks like a refinery or assembler. That would be rather cool. It would add a whole new level of engineering into Space Engineers. Something many have commented the game needs. I've seen many people critical of a lack of actual engineering in Space Engineers. This cable could be a power mechanism to be used in Space Engineers. That would work well. It adds both a fun gameplay component and a new level of engineering to the game. One other thought I had while looking at this mysterious cable is whether it was a tether. In one aspect, this could be looking to keep you attached to grids like your spaceship rather than floating away. However, it could also function like a tether system from one of the other games I play, Astroneer. In that game, you don't really have oxygen bottles or hydrogen bottles. Instead, to keep things running smoothly and that you have access to power and oxygen, you place down tethers in the direction you want to go. So if you're heading mining, you place these tethers everywhere you go. If you break the line, they break as well. I don't see Space Engineers fully doing something like this, but you never know. Another idea I had about the cable is whether it links to an old Space Engineers mod. There used to be a mod called Animated Interactions. Sadly, it has not been updated in some time and I'm not quite sure if it still works. However, the whole aspect of this mod is when you're looking in your inventory, it showed the Space Engineers player model typing on this device. When you looked into a cargo container, there was a cable that would connect from the Engineer to the screen of the cargo container, as if you're downloading the data and information. This mod would be fantastic to integrate with the mysterious cable. It's possible that this is what it is. If so, I'm very excited about it, as I think that would add like a whole new level of sort of design and animation to Space Engineers 2. If you look around at your friend and they're connected to a cargo container, you know they're probably in that cargo container storing stuff. In a similar vein, if they're looking at their wrist, you know they're in their inventory and you can quickly snipe them in the head. Now hopefully this cable does have some functionality and it's not just for display purposes. That would seriously annoy a lot of us, I think. Like you're putting it there and you're just teasing us. At least make it do something. Oh, something I need to mention is a mistake some of us made in a reveal trailer of Space Engineers 2. This voiceover you hear.
To everyone heading for Almagest, prepare for an experience unlike anything before.
It's not actually AI as I originally thought it was. Instead, this seems to be an actual voice actor, according to Keen Software House. My mistake there. The audio does sound very much like an AI voice, so easy mistake to be made. I think with the audio filters and the effects, they're kind of making it sound a bit janky. Just something to note so we're all on the same page. We had seen the new drills on the mining ships in previous trailers. They can be spotted in McConnelly's ship trailer, which has miners venturing into asteroids for supplies. And the Concordia research station trailer, in the background shots, we can see several mining ships taking off and flying around. However, some eagle-eyed community members have spotted that Keen has updated their merchandise store. In the store, there are two posters. One features a red space engineer giving a thumbs up, the other showcases the new blue space engineer holding what looks to be a new drill type. It does seem to give us a hint towards what the new hand drill mining drill might look like. It looks like the ones we've seen on the ship, just on a smaller scale. It's definitely a model change from the usual space engineer's drill. You can find these on the Keen store if you want to purchase them. I've left a link in the video description, though some of the items on there are quite pricey, so be warned. Apart from this new drill model, we've not seen any of the other hand tools in Space Engineers yet. Oh, we have seen the paint gun in action, so there is that, but we've not still properly seen the grinder or welder at the moment. This is something that makes a lot of us think the first early access release of Space Engineers 2 will just be creative mode. We've not really seen any survival elements, and to be fair, is it bad if it just releases in creative mode? I'm not quite sure. Let's talk a bit more about early access. It seems that we will get the early access reveal for Space Engineers 2 on Thursday this week. Keen is holding a live stream to reveal details and the early access release date, so that's when we can all play it. The date is Thursday, December 19th at 6 PM UTC. Don't worry if you can't make it, I'll be doing a roundup video of everything you've missed. Also, so you don't have to watch an entire 2-hour stream. Don't worry, I've got you covered, and I appreciate not all of you can watch all of that. So check back here on Thursday night, and we'll have you covered. But let's talk about early access. Is it too soon? Are we rushing into things? It's hard to say without seeing everything. Ask me after this week's reveal, and I'll give you more of a definitive answer. Honestly, I am personally very excited about what Space Engineers 2 means for us as a community, but I'm also cautiously optimistic. The landscape of early access games has changed massively from what it once was, especially since Space Engineers first came to early access games back in 2013. In some ways, I do fear that the early access reveal for Space Engineers 2 could backfire. If Keen Software House simply come out and go, here's creative mode in space with asteroids, oh, and a new building system and a destruction system, and then says nothing else, that could kind of backfire. I think a roadmap is needed. Players will need to know when they will get access to things like planets, water, and more advanced features that seem to be developing with the game. Speaking of a roadmap, we did get some good news last night. I was actually halfway through writing this video. Mark Rosa, CEO of Keen Software House, tweeted that this Thursday's Space Engineers 2 reveal stream will also showcase one brand new trailer as well as a roadmap for the game. Hopefully this roadmap will actually tell us the information we need to know. If Keen really want bonus points from the community, and myself, then this roadmap needs to tell us when we're getting planets, survivor mode, and when anything else wants to be dropping. Also, when more new advanced features will be available. It seems we'll also be getting live gameplay, which is fantastic. So far, all we've seen is pre-made game trailers. Now yes, it seems they are all made in-game, but that is likely with a lot of polish on top and the use of a replay tool, you know, that Space Engineers is like in-game recording feature we can all use. So to see live gameplay, which will likely be played by Marek or Zocli on the Keen stream, we'll be able to get a better idea of the state Space Engineers 2 is in. I think if we see the reveal and things look a bit janky and it's crashing or not working properly, then we're going to know Space Engineers 2 probably isn't in the best state for early access. Hopefully, it should also inform your decision as a buyer. Because don't forget, money is kind of tight right now. We do have a cost of living crisis around the world. Not to get political, but it is your money at the end of the day. So if Space Engineers 2 is revealed, and it doesn't look to the quality you would expect it to be, i.e. an advancement of Space Engineers 1, then you don't have to buy it in a way. And I think that's kind of important. We're going to end up having this discussion where if you want a fully complete, well, mostly fully complete, and an optimized game to a degree, Space Engineers 1 is where you should go. If you want to play back with people, have fun, and you've got the DLC, the mods, and all that stuff over the last decade. If you want to start a new adventure and support the development of a new game using a new engine and some experimental stuff, then Space Engineers 2 is going to be the way to go. I think it really comes down to what you want to do in Space Engineers. If you like the 25cm grid system and you're super eager to start building specifically with that system, then Space Engineers 2 is probably going to be the thing you want to pick up and play with. However, if you're more casual and you just want to play in space and explore planets and things like that, Space Engineers 1 is probably the game for you right now. Of course, we can make this definitive decision when we actually see the full reveal of Space Engineers 2. I'm also curious on the price. I've been having this discussion with a lot of people, and I've seen your comments as well, how much it's actually going to be charged for Space Engineers 2. I looked back, when I bought Space Engineers in early access back in 2013, I bought it for £10.99 or £11.99, which is extremely cheap. I've got 6,200 hours, I think, in Space Engineers. I've definitely got my money's worth. That's even with buying the DLC, which I probably think accounts to maybe £40 or £50 now, which is crazy. And I think if Space Engineers 2 is going to be like something like £20 or £30, that's a reasonable price. And obviously, it's in early access, so we'll be buying into the early access development of a game. And we've all known previously in the last 5 to 10 years of the gaming market how sometimes sequel early access games don't do very well. I'm looking at you, Ark, and also rip in peace, Kerbal Space Program 2. Yes, some of these weren't early access, but buyers are very more cautious now of buying into early access. So Keen really are going to have to make a big deal out of Space Engineers 2 and then convince people why they should support this project. So, just one last note, we've seen water and planets shown off in V-Rage's free game engine development videos for developers, so if we don't get any information on that with this new roadmap apparently, I'm going to be very disappointed and worried about how and when that is going to come to Space Engineers 2. Water and new planets is a big sort of selling point, I guess, for Keen, but also a big draw factor for players who want to get involved in the game. So if it's not shown off, that's going to be a bit concerning. But let's wait and see. The news of a roadmap is still very good for all of us. I really enjoy that, and I can't wait to see how it's presented. So that's everything I had to talk about with Space Engineers 2 today. Admittedly, this is a rather shorter video, and we've not gone over too many critical details, but I just want to share some of my thoughts with you, and hopefully you'll agree. Hopefully you'll find this information useful. If you would like to keep up to date on Space Engineers 2 development news and game updates, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you very soon.